On today's show, we are talking about things I didn't learn until I became a husband. Now, it's going to be interesting. Maybe you can learn something from things I've gone through, but it's going to be a topic today. Let's talk about it.
Thank you for tuning in. We are Tristin and Michael, and you are listening to Fused Transparent Conversations for Marriage, Family, and Relationships. We invite you to join us as we discuss topics that are thought about but not talked about. So tell your friends and family to check us out. And of course, check out our website, Fused Marriages, for more content and resources. Okay.
Hello. You got to fix your microphone. Your microphone is leaning forward too much.
Right there?
Just a little bit. Yeah, right there. Probably
right there.
That's probably good.
Can you hear me?
Microphone check. Yeah, you
check one, check two.
No.
Okay.
Not that. Yeah, if y'all listen to this on the audio, she was dancing a little bit, so y'all gotta check out the YouTube video. Just in case if y'all listen to audio.
I can go.
Huh?
A little bit.
A little bit?
A little shimmy.
You can. I'll give you a little credit.
Mm-hmm. What's really funny is when we see the kids and see who they dance like, if they dance like you or they dance like me.
Yeah.
So far, they're dancing like you.
They dance like me? I mean, hey, that means they jamming. They is getting it in, y'all. You see them dancing? You already know. I get down. I get down. I don't care what she talking about. I get down. I don't care what she looking like, what faces she making. I get down.
I still love them. That's all. That's all there is to it.
Believe that.
So you still believe that?
Believe that.
Okay, so we're getting into a conversation today that's gonna. Well, I think that both genders and husband and wives can really benefit from. What do you mean, maybe?
I'm saying maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Because I'm curious, actually, to hear how you're gonna approach this. So our conversation today is things I didn't learn until I became a husband. This is Michael's topic. That he said things that. Look how we getting started, y'all.
I'm just saying. I mean, we collaborate. Go ahead though. I take ownership of it. Yes, it's my
because
topic.
We're talking about it from your perspective, things that you didn't learn until you became a husband. So I'm curious. Okay. Let's jump into it. Hey, friends, family, listen up, because I want to hear from you all. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what y'all have to say. So make sure that you kind of drop some of your experiences in the comments, but also tell people to listen in and get in this conversation with us. Okay.
So things I did not learn or know until I became a husband. So I think we have to distinguish between me getting married, anybody getting married, and becoming a husband. Because some of us been married a couple times. 3, 4, whatever, this, that, and the other, but we not been a husband in each one of those cases. So with that being said, so it's idea you can get married, which is good, right? Everybody can, you should have to link up, lock up, this, that, and the other, do it right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there's a progression in order to become a husband. Okay. Like it's not automatic. You get married, you a husband, right? So I got to at least kind of clarify that, because some people are married and they're still in the process of becoming, right? And that's fine. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, right? We're all trying to evolve and get to a place. I'm still trying to become the best husband, right? You know what I mean? I'm on a journey of trying to achieve that. And it made me think about, far as like become a husband is, we have a trainer. You do training. People may have been involved in being a trainer as far as, trying to get fitness and all that, right? With the trainer, with the good ones, and you can kind of testify to this or clarify or add in, with a good trainer, they get you right to do an assessment. They try to understand, what your goals are, this, that, and the other. But one of the unique things I know trainers do, at least I've seen done, is that they take pictures. Mm-hmm. They get you right before, you about to train. They get you against a white wall or some, kind of blank wall. You kind of like, you expose yourself. Mm-hmm. You got no clothes, or at least you got some stuff we can see, right? How your legs look, how the abs, chest look, how the arms look. And they taking pictures. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, why would a trainer take pictures of somebody else versus saying, hey, go look in the mirror, look at yourself today, right? And then in 3 months from now, look at yourself again.
Okay.
And I believe, this is making my assessment here, I believe they tell you to take a picture, right? Because it's very difficult to see yourself as yourself. Mm-hmm. So when I look at myself in the mirror, am I really seeing me, or am I seeing something else? You know what I mean? So the picture almost represents saying, okay, hey, let's take your eyes out of it. I'm going to put it in front of you. We're going to look at it together. Mm-hmm. And the heart and together is saying, hey, you know what? Let's tone this up. This looks good right here. This looks bad right here. You might not have the same assessment every day in the mirror with yourself. So oftentimes we hire a trainer, right, to make us get right. We getting fit for the summer, you know what I mean? We putting whatever on. We want to look right. Our birthday coming up. Some of y'all do that. Birthday coming up. Y'all want to look good. Summer coming up. I ain't nothing wrong with y'all. I'm not judging it, but people do that.
Yeah.
Right? But the trainer helps kind of give you a true picture of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got married, right? And let me rephrase that. When I started becoming a husband,
mm-hmm.
I started to get a more true, because it wasn't that I was living nothing false, a more true picture of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it primarily came down through just the circumstances of one, becoming a husband, right? Getting somebody else, a wife, your wife getting a husband, to look at you and really give you an assessment.
Mm.
And that assessment sometimes is harsh. Sometimes it's accurate. Sometimes you don't believe it. But the idea is that I didn't really get a true picture of myself until I became a husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about that a little bit. You can give me your thoughts on my little...
Sound like you already talking about it.
Yeah, but this the whole idea is give me I would love to hear your initial thoughts anyway.
That's a lot to digest. The idea, the first concept that you said, that you don't, when you get married, when you say I do, that doesn't make you a husband. That just makes you married. and now you're in the process of becoming this thing that you initially, desire to be. Right. So I think that, for a lot of us, this is a process, but it's really interesting hearing it from a male's perspective. And even the idea of the trainer taking those initial pictures. Any of us that have been in the fitness industry are in it or have worked within it, either with a trainer or somebody, that nutritionist, they do take pictures. We do take pictures. And part of that is to be able to properly assess so that we're both looking at the same thing. Because it is different when you look in the mirror and you just look down, or if you have flexible topped pants, you got a little elastic in there or something, it helps distort the image. And that can go either way, really. If you want to be, if you're too much of something or too little of something, the way that we assess ourselves, looking in the mirror, but it also gives us the opportunity to track our progress, to say okay, this is where we started. And that's why I think it's important to have regular meetings and have regular conversations, because then you can say those check-ins. Am I still where I was? And a lot of people do that for New Year's, but it really should be done more frequently when it comes to your marriage. Because if you're only checking in once a year, that's problematic. If you're only revisiting your goals, or what it said, hey, we said we wanted to go out on a date once a week. We only went out for Valentine's Day and your birthday. Well, that's a problem if you're only seeing that annually. So I think this is already very interesting to me. So you said that you did not see yourself. What was interesting in one of the notes that you wrote down is that you couldn't see yourself. Kind of talk about that.
And honestly, I didn't know I couldn't see myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I thought I knew me. Mm-hmm. I thought I knew what I was about. I thought I knew, and maybe all that's true, I thought I knew how I projected myself to the world.
Okay. Okay.
But ultimately, that was in a controlled environment, right? Where I can project myself to the world and I don't have to get feedback from it. I can, you know what? They got something to say. I can walk off. I can leave it. I ain't got to deal with it. I can go somewhere else. If it's negative, it is, or good, whatever it is. I have the choice to whether receive it or not receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. So when you do that, to me, that gives you a false impression of really who you are.
Okay, slow down. Mm-hmm. So you said that you were able to kind of project the best parts of yourself, or at least how you saw yourself, into the world. And no matter what their feedback was, it wouldn't necessarily affect you because you didn't have to buy into it.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Clarify.
I did not say that. I understand. I appreciate that, but I do understand.
No, please tell me. We want to get it right.
So I couldn't see myself. As simple as that. I could not see whatever, good or bad. I could not see myself. Even if it was something good. Forget about the bad. Let's say it was something good. Mm-hmm. I couldn't see the level of how good things were. In this case, I'm talking about really trying to grow, right? Typically talking about growth and with trying to show something that, you maybe need to have, do differently, say differently, respond differently. So I could not see, in the growth aspect of it, I could not see myself.
So 2 questions on that. Is this a you thing, or do you think that this is possibly a masculine trait?
I'm framing this up as a lot of us men go through this, and it could be it could be other genders too, for that matter, right?
Okay.
It could be female, could be, but I'm gonna talk from the male perspective.
Sure.
Of a lot of us men, we have a hard time seeing ourselves.
Okay, and then the second part of my question is part A, why, and then part B, what did you do to start seeing yourself?
Why? You asking a deep question. I'm funny. You asking a real deep question. Why not? Because it's hard. Personally, I don't think it's possible to look at yourself and give a true assessment. I think it's very difficult, right? You had a review you had to do, right, at work, this, that, and the other. And you said you had a hard time of giving just some good feedback, trying to figure it out. That's not uncommon. Everybody has that. Like, how do I really judge myself, whether it's good or bad? How do I really give a true assessment of myself? It's difficult.
Because there's so many variables within like one line. So like if you were to say like, am I a good guy? It'd be like, well, like most of the time I'm a good guy, but there are other times. So it's like, it's not like this one specific box that you can check. Is that similar to what you're saying? Come on, break it down, man.
I'm trying to break it down. I guess it ain't hitting home with you. I'm trying to break it. Hope maybe somebody out there getting it. So I'm trying to break
maybe
it down.
Some of the guys are like, yeah, she don't get it.
But the idea, you asked a great question, by the way. So it's just an idea. Let's say you look at your reflection, right? In the mirror, in water. They got the well, you go to the haunted house, but like your little carnivals, you got the mirrors that kind of like
has it distorted.
Distorted. Honestly, I think that's how we live life. Ooh. Like if we, without having somebody say, no, hold on, no, you don't.
That's
like
good.
That like this.
Okay.
And the distortion of our eyes. Sometimes, you know what? I'm 5'7", but in the mirror, I'm 6'5".
And you think that that's just innate? You don't think that there are anything that kind of builds that culture around a lot of men?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just difficult to do a true assessment on yourself.
Okay.
And I think one of the driving factors that allowed me to open up my thinking of really who I am is when I became a husband. And let me say that, when I decided to become a husband, right? Because the title doesn't necessarily mean you are trying to be that. I decided, I'm going to try to be a good husband. I'm going to try to be the right husband, try to be the right person, right? And part of that is listening to what your spouse has to say about you. And you got 2 options either, whenever they give you that feedback. She crazy or she telling the truth. Them probably the 2 options you got right there, right? And you got to say, okay, well, she tripping. That's what we say. We don't say you crazy. We say, man, she tripping. She
Somebody said that they crazy. I heard it before.
They might be not say that.
Not to me.
They may not say that loud to their wife. Don't y'all do that.
Don't you do it.
Don't do that. Just say, you know what?
Because she's going to show you how crazy she is.
No, maybe, yeah. She going to hold it on. So if you ever hear it, she going to be like,
that's like telling somebody calm down. Like, they're not, you say somebody crazy, they going, okay, bet. Yeah. You say somebody calm down, it's going to be too much. So one of the things that I think might inhibit people from seeing their true self, any of us, but specifically talking about men, is family, is the people that we grow up with that tell us how great we are. And they might see some of our flaws, but they don't necessarily experience our flaws the way that our spouse might. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, family gives us a pass, right? If we, we like to stay in bed late, you know what I mean? And we like 35, 40, and we like, I was like, let them sleep in. But like reality, that probably ain't good for a majority of us that's trying to get it, trying to make things happen. Can't let that happen. Or you know what? They don't pick their plate up off the table. Or you know what? They just snap off randomly. That's just them. That's just, you know what? Let them be them. When they get married and they do any one of them 3 things I just said, it's problematic.
Right.
And they like, what? I've been like this. That's what we say. I've been like this. Hey, how you gonna change me?
Ain't
now?
Nobody ever said.
He said, I've said them words.
I know.
Yeah, but they don't know. It's like they don't know. So I know you know. So I'm like, I'm confirming, like I've said them exact words, right? And it gets us in trouble. I'm gonna say men, I don't know how women handle it. It gets men in trouble of like, man, why she responding that way?
Because they're so accustomed to it being acceptable.
Right. It's just common to yeah, they never no family member, maybe very few. And the ones that did, they probably all they crazy, they tripping. And they just kind of, with your mama, your sister, nobody said, okay, hey, your dad, like, you know what, you can't be that way. You may want to consider changing that. It's going to affect, we accept it because we love you unconditionally.
Right.
You get with a spouse, they may be like, hold on, like, that's like, I don't know if I can deal with that.
I think that's true for women as well. But I think it's interesting because I've witnessed, cross-culturally, really, that men in the family, there seems to be kind of a different kind of expectation of what is acceptable. And that, it changes generationally, like when you go from one to another. And I think it also is influenced by who is in the house, who has the strongest hand. If it's a single parent household with just a mother, or if it's a dual parent household, or if it's a stepfather, or if it's the biological father, I think all of those play factors for both roles. But I've done a lot of research and find it really interesting how those roles affect boys and how those boys then grow, what kind of men, what traits they carry with them into their adulthood. So I can kind of hear some of what you're saying and understand a little bit differently how, not having the opportunities for true reflection or possibly distorted perceptions really affect marriages. Another thing I want to ask you about, because you're talking about family, is like, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I would think that at some point in a boy or a man's life, he would have heard, hey, this is how you are, even by like an ex or, a friend or something like that. How does that play or not play into how men see themselves?
So, I mean, a lot of times friends is almost fall in the same category as family, right? And we friends, right? I'm gonna tell my boy, like, man, you know what? Man, you always leave your shoes in the middle of the floor. Like, I mean, that ain't something we would say. Now, if it's something drastic, like, hey, man, you go out getting drunk and coming home and coming back to our apartment, we rooming together, it ain't, that's something serious, like that level. But like a lot of stuff, think about the things people get in arguments about, right?
So men don't get in arguments about shoes being left on the floor?
No, I'm just saying, think about the things you're getting an argument about in a marriage, right?
Oh, okay.
It's typically not the big stuff. I shouldn't say that. It doesn't start off as something big.
It can be little things that add up.
Right. Man, why you raise your voice like that? But they've been raising their voice. They're like, what? This is how I talk. You know what I mean? It's small, but like typically in a friendship, family, that's not going to be addressed. Could be in some cases, but a lot of times it's not going to be addressed in a way that it should be.
It falls right back with that. They get a pass.
Okay. They get a pass. Hey, you know what? My uncle, when he get a little something, he just get a little, extra juice in him. I mean, like, that's just who he is. And like, you get with somebody, he marries somebody, like, okay, hold on. They be like, oh, no, we can't have that. But family, give them a pass. Friends, give them a pass. That's just who they are. We grew up together. That's who they are.
Okay, what about exes?
Exes? Here's my take on exes.
Okay.
Did I or did anybody allow them to get close enough to be able to say anything? So they might just be in a relationship with you. Y'all might be, quote unquote, serious. But did you really get so serious they can just tell you, hey, you know what? I don't appreciate how whenever we get in an argument, you kind of blow up. So
even in marriage, if there's people like, hey, they were married and now they're divorced or they're separated, are you suggesting or possibly saying that even in those relationships, they weren't close enough to kind of address some of the things in a way that it will be received? So when you think about something you said, that's why I laugh. So it's like the idea of somebody being married don't mean you're close. You know what I mean? So the fact that somebody, you saying an ex or even somebody got divorced, right? They may not have been close enough to somebody to be able to tell them like, hey, or they didn't listen to it. They like refuse to receive, whatever have you. They refuse to let the other person be that reflection. Of really like, hey, this is how the world really experiences you. Now,
they only get a glimpse of you. And it's typically, you know what, on Sundays when you're smiling and praying, and then at work when you're happy and making money. In between that, though, it's problematic because you fire off of this. Somebody can't say nothing, this, that, and the, I mean, like, like, so, but it's the idea, like, they never got close enough to be able to receive or hear it. Yeah. So it gets problematic.
I think that there's something that you said in there that, I mean, all of that, but the idea that you could be married to someone or be in a relationship, serious relationship with someone, and they still not be close enough, they still not trust you enough. Where does that wall come from, and what do we do about it? If we are really interested in being, the reflection character in this story or being close with our partner, what does that look like?
Man, I know this is a great question. I think we have to let the walls down, right? We have to be vulnerable, right? Be willing to be vulnerable. Like, hey, you know what? Can I hear something good or bad from the person that I'm laying down to every day? Am I open enough to the idea that they can tell me something that may not be so positive, and I know they still love me?
And is that just if you're on the other side, if it's me over here and you're over there and you're saying, you know what, I'm not open. What does the person sitting in this chair do?
So which one of you? So we have to rephrase that question again.
So if we're saying the guy is closed off and I'm the lady and I'm like, man, I really want him to open up to me. I want him to trust me. How does that happen?
I think that happens so for me, I would think, you know what, can I give you feedback, right? Mm-hmm. In order to you give me feedback. If this is a one-way street, you want to give me something, I can't say nothing back, and you like, well, no, that ain't me. I ain't do that. Well, okay, well, definitely you can't say nothing back to me. May not say that, but like, it's going to be very difficult for me to be open back up to you. So if you say, hey, you know what, Michael, just tell me something about myself you want to see me work on, I'm just going to give you an example. So you can just practice it of, you know what, me receiving it. And I want to hopefully one day, to give you the same feedback about some things I want to see you do differently and really grow differently. Anybody saying this, grow differently.
That's interesting. So much of relationships is reciprocity. It really is that gift or give and back and forth, kind of like we're sharing this thing. We're running this race together. Because when you said that, it started making me think about that both partners need to have the reflection character. I know we're focusing on the men, but both need to be able to hear feedback about themselves. And it can't be isolated. It can't just be about performance. And it has to do with being able to, not just to hear it, but really digest it and to determine if there's going to be a change in that area. And then also there's kind of a balancing act. It can't be everything all at once. It can't be like, well, you do this and you don't do this and you don't do this and you do this and I wish you would do this. It can't be all of that. But there's kind of this, there has to be levels. There has to be an opportunity to see a change over time. So I think that that's something that's really important, that the trust is built up as I receive your feedback and as you receive my feedback, and then you witness my growth and my evolution and I get to witness yours. And I think that builds strength and consistent trust in the relationship, because it's like, wow, they heard me, they received what I was saying, it mattered to them. And now we're moving forward. What do you think about that?
No, that's powerful what you just said. And it brought me back to like the trainer, the whole analogy we're using with the trainer, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a trainer for one, but the one trainer, you can probably speak to this a little better than I can, but what I've noticed with good trainers, they don't focus on everything body part wise every single day. Right. Not even every single week. Mm-hmm. They isolate, look at, assess. Did it change it? Isolate, look at, assess, right? Mm-hmm. And the idea of same thing with dealing with relationships, right? You want somebody to change. This is my opinion on this here. You got to pick and choose. Okay, hold on. What am I doing? Is it working, right? If I'm training that I'm trying to figure out if I just get these things done or get it changed or get them to grow. And what am I doing? Maybe I don't have the right skill set to get it done, right? I need to get other tools in my toolbox, just so you can read and get, counseling, hopefully open to that, whatever have you, to get a better view on really how to make that significant change. So picking and choosing, really one thing I would say, right? Picking and choosing and trying to understand, okay, I got this list of things maybe. Some of y'all got a list of things y'all want y'all people to be different. Some of y'all, I'm just.
I don't know if you have a whole list of things, then you might be really trying to find a new person.
You know what? He ain't this, he ain't that, or she ain't this, she ain't that. This, I mean, like it's a list, but they ain't saying what they are. Mm-hmm. And listen, they not highlighting them. That ain't top of discussion every week.
Yeah,
it's about what they not doing.
Yeah,
what they need to be doing, what they need to be saying, how they need to be spending, or not spending, whatever.
Because the goal isn't to make your partner a different person. The goal is to bring out the best of your partner. Right. And I think that when you start creating a quote unquote list of all the things that they are not, you're trying to make them someone else versus saying like, okay, man, they're great at this. This is a tweak. It shouldn't be like a whole shift. But when you were talking about this, and then I have a question for you, but when you were talking about the trainer and the isolated exercises, that's true. But there's also compound exercises where you're working on things that work in conjunction. And I think that as we think about our partnership, that we should think about things that work in conjunction. We should think about, okay, man, this is how I can support, because as partners, we're in this thing together. This is how I can support this movement. Hey, if we're going to be progressing forward, this isn't, hey, he doesn't make the bed. So what if, I just ask him to pull over the comforter and I put all of my pillows on the bed because he doesn't know where the pillows go. Like what if it becomes an activity where we're both growing, and until such time as it's like, oh, I got this. I just think of this work that we're doing as a couple, that it shouldn't, even if it's just I'm a reflection or you're a reflection and it's a mirror, it still doesn't mean that you have to go through the evolution alone. It means that you have to decide that it's worth it, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it all. If I'm trying to lose weight, maybe we walk together. It's not you need to go to the gym because you're not healthy. It's, hey, why don't we make this transition? So I think that that's kind of an interesting distinction that we all could really explore. But as we kind of close out, I really wanted to kind of hear maybe what your final thoughts were about what you are learning, have learned when you decided I'm not just going to be a married person. I'm going to be now a husband.
Great segue, because I was thinking like when I decided to become a husband, I didn't make the choice that I want to grow, that I have not arrived to where I need to be at, and I wanted to grow. Mm-hmm. And when I said that, it means I'm saying that you have the ability to help me grow, right? I had to be open to the idea that like, you know what, well, she's placed in my life to help me get to where I need to get to, that I couldn't get it there on my own. And to me, that's the decision a lot of men have to make, right? And as husbands, right? We have to say, you know what? This woman, however imperfect you think you are, this, that, and the other, she's put in my life to help me grow.
Mm-hmm. Is that your final words?
That's my final words. I got a lot more words. We can go keep going. Which
I don't want to run out of time for the show, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you the final word, because there are a lot of people out there, spouses, that are trying to figure it out. And becoming a husband in this case, or a wife, there are some really important things that I think we need to learn. And one of them is really trust. And the other is being able to be a safe space, to be a reflection, or to be the mirror.
Yeah. With that being said, you give me the final word, another final word.
Okay, final word, part two.
Part two. No, it's just, I wrote this down. I want to bring that. I think this is something important that is kind of thought about. And but this is applied to men, in my opinion.
Right.
Women may be applicable to y'all as well. Mm-hmm. But men, we kind of learn differently, right? Okay. We kind of grow differently. Mm-hmm. And it's like 3 ways that I see men end up really trying to grow. Okay. The first one is life, right? Mm-hmm. Life will throw you some wrinkles, this, that, and the other, hills and valleys, and you adjust and you grow to it, or you fall down. But typically, most men, we try to step up to it, right? Then there's strife, right? Where you just get beat down. Mm-hmm. Nothing good, nothing bad. You do like this is strife. Something happens and you got to figure it out, right? They say pull yourself by your own bootstraps, and you grow from that. Mm-hmm. These are levels, right? Levels. Life happens, kid, you high school, 20s, and strife happens, right? Maybe early 20s, that and the other. Then you get a wife. Mm-hmm. So you got life, strife, and a wife. The 3 things that I believe that help men grow to where they need to be at, right? And not saying if you're not married, but still you can prepare to say, okay, hey, how will I handle a wife, right? And if you don't want to get married, some men don't want to get married, you know what? How would I handle somebody then giving me honest feedback? That's really what a wife is supposed to be, right? You my mirror, right? To be able to give me honest feedback about myself. Can anybody give that to you? It shouldn't be the world giving it to you, but it should be at least 1 or 2 people. Mine is right here. You know what I mean? If you're not married, I don't want to say some men aren't married, but somebody will give you that honest feedback.
You're a great husband.
Thank you.
I like you a lot, and I love you. Well, thank you all for joining us today. We've had an interesting conversation, but we definitely want to hear from you. So make sure that you connect with us on all of our social platforms. And of course, as mentioned before, do check out our website, fusedmarriages.com, for more content and resources. Let's talk about it.